A monumental resource is an important constraint consideration when you're line balancing. And a monumental resource is considered to be a piece of equipment that's installed at a station that cannot or will not be moved during a rebalance. What that means is that if an activity requires a monumental resource, then you want to make sure that that activity gets assigned to the station where the monument exists. And when you're thinking about monuments, you want to remember a monument is considered to be a unique piece of equipment or resource. So there can only be one of a monument, and it can only exist in a single station. So there are 4 steps to setting up monuments so that the constraint can be properly followed. And I'll walk you through each of them, but you might want to note down that the first step is to assign the resource to the activities that require it. Then you want to map the resource to the station where it exists. Once you've created your line balance scenario, you want to mark the resource as a monument. And finally, if you're running a default balance, you want to make sure that you turn on the monumental resource constraint consideration. So let's start with assigning the resource to the activity. I'm going to go ahead and open one activity, and I want to add the resource as required by the activity. So I'm going to check out the activity, and then I can click on Add Resource. I can search for all my resources, and I want to add this fixture. So a change has been made to the activity, and now I need this fixture in order to perform it. I'll check back in my activity. And next we want to specify where the fixture exists. So we're going to go to the plant editor and find the station where it exists and go to the resource cell. Now if you know the ID of the resource, you can just type it in. But if you don't, then you can right click on the cell and edit resource mappings. And you can search for all the resources, click Add, and then click Close. And you see that that resource has been mapped to this add-on station. The next step is within the scenario. So you'll go to line balancing, and with your scenario open, you'll go to Edit, Monumental Resources. And this is showing us a list of all of the resources that are required or have been mapped to any of the activities. And we need to be able to tell the software which are actual monuments, because you'll have a lot of hand tools and things like that that could move from station to station if they needed to based on your rebalance. But in this case, we want to mark the fixture as a monument. And the last step in considering the monument or resource as a constraint is going to the actions default balance. And if you're running the balance to have the monumental resource constraint followed so that any activity that requires the monument gets assigned to the station where that monument exists, you just want to check the monumental resources box before clicking OK and running the default balance. If any activity that requires a monument isn't assigned to the station where the monument exists, you're going to see a warning through this yellow M icon indicating that this activity needs to be reassigned because it's not following the monumental resource constraint. If I double click on the M icon, I can see which resource is the monument, and I know that the fixture exists in the add-on station. So I can right click to change the assignment of this activity. I can move it to the add-on station and click OK. And now when I move to the add-on station, I can find that task and it no longer has the monumental constraint violation.